Hello, my friends, and Happy New Year. This is the first video that I am sitting down to film in our new year, 2025. And I thought that before we could really dive into new stuff for the year, I wanted to give you guys kind of a finale, maybe an update to a project that I started last January. I know that this is the time of year where everybody's a little bit big on New Year's resolutions, maybe taking some stock of some areas in your life where maybe you want to improve, or maybe you just find this video fun. Maybe you just want to sit down with me and hear me chat about what's going on with my candle collection. So today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the candles that I decluttered in the month of December. I always feel like this is like the second part to my empties video, but I am also going to be giving you kind of the finale of my candle collection series that I started last January. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the old thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. If, like I said, you like this video, if you like empties, if you like hauls, dedicated reviews, I think you would like sticking around here. So consider hitting that subscribe button. But yeah, this video, honestly, you guys, this whole series was a brainchild of last January. I had a word coming to my mind, which was intentional. I really was honestly at a point where I was starting to feel very overwhelmed by my candle collection. I wasn't sure what I had. You guys know that I typically like to burn more than one candle at a time. Usually I'll burn 2, sometimes 3 candles. And I was feeling overwhelmed. And so what I decided to do in January of 2024 was I took an inventory of all of the candles that I had, and I filmed that and I shared it over a series of, like, I want to say it was maybe like 2 weeks on my channel. I shared with you the videos of what I had in my collection. And that was a great starting point because then I finally had a pulse on exactly what I owned, what I could plan to burn, what I could enjoy. And I knew I needed something else, which was accountability. So what I decided to do was every month on my channel at the end of the month, I thought, okay, I'm going to share with the community here, what did I bring in? What went out? And am I making any progress? Am I actually enjoying my collection? And I have to tell you guys, I'm going to share with you the final number that is currently in my collection today. I have to say, I think it was a success. So if you find yourself maybe at this time of year, I know a lot of people have like resolutions, or maybe you're also just like taking stock of maybe some habits that you would like to change or maybe improve upon, or like I said, maybe you're just wanting to purely enjoy this video for pure entertainment. I don't care why you're really watching this video. I just thought that maybe this might be something that would be helpful for you, and let you guys know that it can be done. That if you feel like you're overspending, or maybe you're just an area of your life is starting to get out of control, it can be done. So like I said, I'm going to talk about the candles that I decluttered, and I'm going to share with you guys the final total that I have in my collection today, and share with you the lessons that I learned over the last year. So I will pop up pictures of all of the candles that I have decluttered over the month of December. I am going to let you guys know right now, there's a few in here that I think are going to have you guys clutching your pearls, but I have good reason for why I decluttered them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the candles that made their way to different homes over the month of December. Starting with a country candle that was sent to me in PR. This is Country Candle's Fireside Chai. Now, this was a fragrance that I actually really enjoyed on cold sniff. It was a fragrance that I enjoyed when it was burning. The problem, it wasn't super strong, and it wasn't a fragrance that I just loved so much that I could justify holding on to into my collection and just saying, oh, I can't wait to pull that out again next fall or early winter. And so I did decide that that fragrance needed to find another home. Again, I liked it. It wasn't a love. Strength and throw on that candle was not very significant. I forgot to mention this in my intro, but as always, all of the candles that I'm talking about today will be listed and linked down below. I also have candle playlists down there, so that way you can go back and look at the dedicated reviews. I think I have dedicated reviews on quite a few of these. But yeah, I did go ahead and move that one along. Another fragrance that some of you guys will be very surprised to see that I decluttered out of my collection was a Bourbon Bonfire 3-wick from Kringle Candle. Now, I do have good reason for that. I love the fragrance Bourbon Bonfire. It is probably one of my all-time favorite Kringle fragrances. It was released in 2023 in their fall lineup. I love a good hearth fragrance. That one has kind of like a rum note to it. I know it says bourbon bonfire. I smell more rum in that fragrance than I do bourbon, but I get a little bit of smokiness, not a whole lot. It's kind of a sweet fragrance that can be burned, I would say, year round, like in the evening time. If you're somebody who's kind of like particular about your seasons or time of day that you like to burn fragrances, I really, really love that scent. So why did I declutter it? Well, I received a new 4-wick in Bourbon Bonfire very kindly from Kringle Candle. They did send that to me in PR. And so I thought, you know what? Since I have a 4-wick of this, I don't really quote unquote need the 3-wick because the 3-wick is a lot smaller. The 4-wick, I knew that in fact, I burned it and it's sitting back in my collection right now. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video. It's sitting in the closet waiting for me to pull it out again. But I decided, you know what? I have some friends in my life who love fragrances like that. And so I did go ahead and gift one of my unburned Bourbon Bonfire 3-wicks. Another fragrance that I did pass on to a friend is Snowflakes, or was Snowflakes and Suede from Homeworks. Again, that is a fragrance that I enjoyed. It actually kind of had a little bit of like a leathery note to it. Kind of sophisticated. I said that it was kind of like the winter sister. If you happen to have liked the Postcards from Harry collection over the summer of 2024, there was a fragrance called St. Bart's, and it had a similar like sandalwood undertone to it, but I felt like this one was more like vacation in the city, like maybe a place like New York. I've never been to New York, but it's like what I envision. What I envision it being, like a level of sophistication there instead of it being a beachy vacation. But I would say that they were kind of like, there was some like genetic relation between those two candles. Anyways, I did enjoy the fragrance. However, it was a candle that again, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a love for me that I felt like I really need to continue burning this. Post Christmas, you guys know that in the month of December, I was very honest in saying that there were certain fragrances that were just, I'm very, very particular about December fragrances because Christmas is a very nostalgic season for me. So I get like super, super picky about the fragrances that I like to burn at that time of year. So again, that was a fragrance that I loved, but I had a friend come over who she really enjoyed that fragrance. And I said, here, you can go ahead and have it. Another fragrance that made its way out was Kringle Candles Reserve Mid-Autumn Moss. Now, again, that's a fragrance that I enjoyed. In fact, I think that that's a fragrance that I would particularly like maybe in the month of August when I'm looking for some transitional scents between summer and fall. I'm not quite ready for all of the apple and the pumpkin that typically makes its way into my collection or into my burn rotation, I should say, by late August, early September. But I'm typically over all of the beachy coconut banana and sunscreen scents, and I don't really know what to burn. However, again, it was a very clean fragrance. It was a very green fragrance, but it wasn't one that I felt like I was excited to burn. So I went ahead and decluttered that one. All right, you guys, now here's two fragrances that I think you guys are going to be saying, have you lost your ever-loving mind? So one of the candles that I decluttered was a large 2-wick of Kringle Candles Christmas. I know, you guys, I know some of you guys are like, what? How dare you? How dare I? Well, I did give it to one of my very, very good friends for a Christmas gift for her. I knew that she was looking for a good tree fragrance, and she also happens to teach my 2 younger kids. Long story short, but the way that my kids are educated, they're technically homeschooled, but they attend what's called like a homeschool hybrid micro school, and she is their teacher. And so I thought that it would be a perfect teacher gift for her. I know that Christmas is a fragrance that will be coming back year in, year out with Kringle Candle. And honestly, the reason why I departed with the 2-wick is because I do have my eyes on purchasing a 4-wick next year. Hopefully Mick, I hope you will restock Christmas next year in the 4-wick vessel. So I did decide that if I want more of it, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it in a 4-wick. In that same vein, y'all, the other candle, Drew Yuck, plug your ears because you're not going to believe I did this. I gave away as a gift a beloved jelly donut. Now I did have two of them in my collection, but again, same type of reasoning applied. I gave that candle to one of my very best friends. And honestly, of all of my friends, she is the one who is into home fragrance. I would say almost as much as me. She enjoys home fragrance a lot. And so I knew that that was a fragrance profile that she would really enjoy. And again, same reasoning. Jelly Donut is now available in a 4-wick. I still have I have almost a full size 2-wick still in my collection. I think I've only burned it once or twice. So I did decide that, you know what, I could go ahead and gift it to my friend. She loved the fragrance. She was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to burn this one after the holidays. So I was just in a very generous and giving spirit, I guess, in the month of December. While we are in the same vein of candles that you guys will not believe that I parted with, I gave another Palo Santo Vanilla from Bath and Body Works. You guys know that's one of my all-time favorite fragrances from the brand. I did gift that to another good friend of mine. I would say like 4 or 5 really close girlfriends. And like I said, I have the one who's like really into home fragrance. The rest of them, they like candles. They're starting to get into them a little bit more. I think I'm rubbing off on them. But they enjoy home fragrance, but they oftentimes won't spend the money on it themselves. And so the Palo Santo Vanilla was a fragrance that I knew one of my other friends would really, really like. I tend to know now like what fragrances they gravitate towards. And so I did give that to her as a Christmas gift. I'm hoping Bath and Body Works will bring it back because that was honestly my last one. I don't know. I might regret that decision if they don't bring it back. But we all know there's always going to be new fragrances that come out that we enjoy. So I did pass that one along to another dear friend. All right. Another candle that I did end up gifting to another friend was Homework's Cozy Weekend. Now, I did really enjoy that fragrance last year. I believe I burned it for the first time last January, and I really, really enjoyed it. However, when I went into my closet and I started sniffing it a little bit more, again, I've decided that there are some other fragrances currently in my collection that I'm a little bit more excited to burn. That candle was unburned, so I did go ahead and gift that one to a friend who I knew would also like that fragrance profile. I think the thing that I started to realize that I wasn't enjoying so much about that was I think that there was a little bit of like a honey note listed in that, very similar to the Cozy Knit Blanket that I was, no, not Cozy Knit Blanket, I'm sorry. That one had like a burned cigarette smell when I was burning it, but there was a honey note in that Cozy Weekend that I just decided like when I was sniffing it more, I was like, I like this, but I don't think I love it as much as I used to. So like I said, it made its way out the door as a gift to somebody else. Now, here's a candle that unfortunately was decluttered simply because it broke. And I feel a little bit bad about this because this is a candle that was sent to me in PR. However, to be honest with you guys, it was a candle that I really wasn't excited to burn. So I promise I didn't like throw it into my collection. But the candle that I'm talking about is the new Kringle Candle Reserve Winter Crystal. It's the one that had the little like snowflake on it. Now, to me personally, that fragrance smelled a lot like baby powder, and I could not get on board. Now, there are other people, other ambassadors who received that candle, other people who have ordered it, who are loving it. They love the fragrance. They said it's perfumey. It reminds them of a high-end perfume. On cold sniff, that's not what I got. My husband liked it on cold sniff, but I really was trying to like psych myself up to burn it for review. Again, that's another point I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. And anyways, when I was moving my collection around, I was kind of reorganizing some things. I tend to do this where like I organize my candles seasonally. I keep them all in my son's closet, by the way, up on like the top shelf. I was moving things around. So like I was starting to move the candles that I wanted for January, maybe spring transitionals. Anyways, I was just moving things around. When I went to move that candle, I was like, ouch. And I had pricked my finger on something and I was like, what is going on there? And sure enough, there was a giant crack going down the vessel. And that was very, very disappointing. So unfortunately, I did have to throw that candle away. It was broken. So I don't know what happened. It wasn't broken when I received it in. So I don't know if it was the way that I set it in there, that, or maybe it tapped up against another candle when things were getting moved around that it broke, but unfortunately that one did break. Another Kringle candle that was just recently sent to me in PR that I did decide to move along to somebody else was the new Winter Frost. It had like an outdoor scene with some pine trees in a forest. Now, I will tell you, I liked that fragrance on cold. However, one of the things I've learned this year is that certain fragrance notes, I can sniff them and I know that they're going to give me a headache. And unfortunately, the more I sniffed that one, I was like, oh, I really think this one's going to give me a headache. There is a floral note sometimes in there. I can't determine if I don't think it's jasmine. But there is a fragrance note in a lot of candles that if they come off a little bit like almost like clean cotton. I don't know. I have a suspicion it might be freesia as the floral note that tends to give me those headaches. But I just, every time I smelled it on cold, I was like, I like this, but, and there was always that lingering, but I felt like it was going to give me a headache. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else enjoy this fragrance from the get-go. And that is what I decided to do. And then the final candle that I did declutter, I think some of you guys won't be surprised, especially if you caught my review for this candle, was the Kringle Candle Reserve Gingerbread and Frosting. Now, I did give that candle a good review in terms of the performance. The performance was excellent on that candle. I did say that I got more frosting accord from it than I did gingerbread. However, there was kind of this like weird kind of like lactonic note that I was picking up in there. And I felt like that got a little bit better, especially as I got to the halfway point of the burn. But I did mention in that review that if somebody else came into my home and said, oh, I love this fragrance, I wouldn't have hesitated to part with it. And that is what ended up happening. I did end up deciding to gift that candle to somebody else, or not really gift it, but just say like, oh, if you like it, sure, you can have it. I think that's one of the things that I've been able to kind of like hold loosely, the candles that are in my collection. Now, there are some fragrances that I absolutely love, and I'm like, absolutely not. You will be prying that from my cold hands. But there's quite a few fragrances that I've learned over this last year that I'm like, you know what? If you don't absolutely love it, feel free to just pass it along. So in total, I decluttered 11 candles from my collection in the month of December. So at the beginning of the month of December, I began with a total of 71 candles in my collection, which I think was already a really great point, because at the beginning of the year, I think I had said my goal was to be under, what did I say? Was it under 75 candles? I haven't gone back and looked, but I do believe that like under 75 candles was my realistic goal. Now, keep in mind, you guys, that because I have a channel where I am reviewing candles, sometimes I receive collections in PR, and that in and of itself sometimes can bring in a whole like 12 candles sometimes. Other times I don't receive PR, and that's totally fine. But anyways, I wanted things to remain manageable. Oh, and I hope my camera is not being wonky again. I've noticed over the last couple of videos that I've done, my camera starts to get like glitchy, and I'm really hoping it's not doing that again. So sorry about that, squirrel. So anyways, where I was at, I began with 71 candles at the beginning of December. I brought in a total of 22 candles over the month of December. That is what came into my collection, either through candles that I purchased during some good sales during Candle Day, and I also received some PR. So that brought my total up to 93 candles. I did empty, if you caught my empties video earlier this week, I did finish burning 18 candles, which brought my total down to 75. And then I did end up decluttering 11 candles from my collection, which brings my grand total today to 64 candles in my collection. So yay! And the big yay with that is I did look back at my January total, and guess what, you guys? When I started this project, I had a total of 104 candles in my collection, a total of 64 now. So that is a reduction of 38% of my candle collection is gone, or has been used up, decluttered, whatever, throughout the year of 2024. I have to tell you guys, I am extremely pleased with that project and what it has allowed me now. I feel a lot lighter. I feel like I am now in a place where I can truly enjoy my collection. So I was actually just messaging somebody else today, it was Drew. We were talking about how I was saying my new mindset now going into 2025 is trying to find that balance of really getting back to burning candles purely for enjoyment. And I know some of you guys might say, like, what do you mean you don't enjoy burning candles? I do. For the most part, I really, really still enjoy burning candles. But I am going to tell you that I don't want this to sound how it's going to sound. But sometimes when I receive PR, I definitely feel an ethical obligation to review those candles, whether or not they are necessarily fragrances that I would have, say, if I went into a store and picked them up and sniffed them. If there's a lot of fragrances that I receive in PR that I'm like, I don't think I would have purchased that if I was given the option. Now, granted, I didn't have to purchase them. So that's where I'm saying, like, I start to run into this expectation I've placed on myself that I need to do a post burn review on that candle, even though it's not really something that I'm excited to burn. Now, I will say that taking the chance on burning some of those candles has worked out in my favor, because sometimes we know that candles can totally transform upon burn. And I've been like, oh, I actually really love this fragrance. I'm glad that I burned it. Other times I'm like, yeah, I still don't like it. And those are the candles that I'm kind of running into a little bit of, I don't want to say like a quandary with, but this is where I'm trying to find that balance of burning candles strictly for enjoyment, which means burning the candles that I know that I love the fragrances, I'm excited to burn them, with balancing out the need that I feel like I need to be responsible to all of you in the community, those of you who subscribe to my channel, that sometimes you're coming to me because you want my post burn thoughts on some fragrances. And also I feel like that's what's doing the right thing for the company that has taken the time to kindly send me the product. So I don't know, you guys, where I'm at right now is that I'm just trying to get back to more balance. I think this year, I think that's my word now this year for my collection is balance. Last year it was intentionality, and I still feel like intentionality is still my mindset in when it comes to what I'm purchasing. But now I'm striving for balance, which I listen to John Deloney, and he says that that's a very he says you're never going to find it, but I guess it's going to be my mindset when it comes to the collection here is balance of really, really making sure that I'm burning candles that I want to burn, instead of the candles that I feel like I should burn. And a perfect example of that right now is that it's early January, not to rub it in any of your faces, but you guys know I live in Arizona. We have been having today, the high is 75 degrees. So for me, what I feel like I should be burning right now are still the heavy gourmands and the tree scents that I have in my collection that like they're at like the halfway point, and I'm like, I should finish burning those so that way I have them for my empties at the end of January. But my mindset right now with the weather is like, I'm ready for something new. I want some lighter gourmands. I want some citrus. I want to burn some of the other candles that are currently in my collection. So that's where I'm saying, like, I'm having to shift my mindset into, it's okay, Katie, if there are some fragrances that you enjoy, but maybe you're a little bit tired of them right now. You don't have to finish burning them just for the sake of saying you finished burning them this month, when they're fragrances that I know that I'm going to enjoy when I bring them back out again next season. So yeah, that's kind of my things. I want to burn the wants, not the shoulds, I guess, and strive to find the balance. Boy, that was like a 5-minute tangent on all of that. So let me know in the comment box down below if you have enjoyed this series. Let me know, do you want me to keep it going for 2025? Has this been encouraging for all of you? Has this kind of been, I'm more than happy to be like your little accountability partner here. If you want me to keep this series going throughout 2025, I would be more than happy to do that for you. If you guys say like, I don't really need to, that's totally fine too. But let me know in the comment box down below. I do think that for the month of January, I do think that I am going to once again try to share with you guys what is in my entire candle collection, just because it's kind of fun for me to like, I like to take that yearly inventory to see like exactly, like I know the number of candles that I have in my collection, but actually to get my eyes on and see like, oh, I'm so excited to burn this one again. I forgot I had this in there or whatnot. So I think I'm going to split that up into a couple of videos. I'll probably do it by brand. I'll probably do Bath and Body Works, Kringle, Homeworks. And then I think I'll probably end up combining like Yankee and Caramel Sundays together because they're probably the brand that I have the least amount. So again, you guys feel free to chime in down below. below what your thoughts are. Was this helpful for you guys throughout 2024? And if you would like to see me continue to do it in 2025. So again, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me, not only today, but also just over the last year, you guys. I know that a lot of you guys were very, very supportive of this series, and you guys were my accountability partners. And I think part of the reason why I was successful with this project was because of all of you. So I do want to thank you for that. But like I said, until my next video, I hope you always go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.